things like that. Like, yes, agency nursing, I'm gonna have to do a video about this, but yes, agency nursing is where the money resides, but we got to get this experience now. If you want to go further, I'm realizing it now that the money is there, but if you want to move on and do something else, you got to get the experience. And money has been at the top of my list for a long time, but now I'm focusing on this experience. So let's get into it. Hey you all, so I wanted to do a quick video talking about some opportunities that LPNs can take if they are considering CRNA role, which is the certified registered nurse anesthetist role, which is now like the DNAP. It's so many dang titles with nurses, but basically now it's a doctorate degree, right? So anyhow, if you're looking to go down that route and you're an LPN, I'm looking at some stuff, my wheels are turning because there's so many opportunities out here for LPNs that's outside of the nursing home setting that you can really take advantage of as a nurse. As an LPN, you can still use that degree, use that licensure certification, use that to your best advantage, especially if you know what you're going into. So say you're an LPN right now. This is ideally for the person who's an LPN or LVN and you have your eye on becoming a certified registered nurse anesthetist or DNAP, which is what they're getting moved into. If you're looking to go down that route and you want to get some critical care nursing experience, because you know in order to go down that route you need to have 1 year of ICU experience, this is your way to get in. You need to get in now as an LPN. Even if you're an LPN, you're like, I'm still doing prereqs, or you're an LPN, you're like, I just now realized I want to do this. Let me go ahead and get in my prereqs so I can get into an RN position. Or maybe you're in an RN school, or maybe you're in school right now for LPN RN, or you haven't even gone for your RN yet. Get into these jobs right now. Take advantages right now, because you could be done with RN school, right? Go ahead and do your bridge, get that done, come out. If you start this job right now and start working in these positions and getting this experience, you start these jobs right now as an LPN, bruh, when you get out of RN school, I'm for sure that you can get out. Say you go to an associate's program, get out and have your associate's degree. Take that, get you another year in the ICU, and work towards getting your bachelor's degree. Once you get your bachelor's degree, go ahead and apply for apply for a position at one of these schools and get in, and you're gonna have probably like 5 years of ICU experience. Now granted, a good amount of that time was as an LPN, but if you go from an ICU to just moving around doing so much, you could do so much as an LPN still and get that critical care nursing experience. If you could take that and just have 1 year of actual RN experience, maybe when you go for your RN experience you get into a higher acuity ICU, like you get into a CVICU, which is the cardiovascular, right? Get into a cardio ICU, or you get into a surgical ICU, or you get into a neuro ICU, or you decide to get into a like a transplant ICU, or let me think of something else. Neuro I think would be really good, or like I said, a level 1 trauma ICU, or you get into a you could do MICU if you can't find that as an LPN. But just getting into an ICU that's a little bit more specialized than maybe something totally different that you couldn't get as an LPN. Do that for your RN and then apply for school. You're gonna get in. You're going to get in. You're going to get in, especially if you know you want to do it. You already got that mindset of like, okay, I want to go in, because I didn't know I wanted to go for nurse anesthetist. I wish I freaking knew, but I didn't know. But I still have pretty decent GPA and grades, especially my science GPA, so I'm still pretty decent. But anyhow, if you know that this is what you want to do in your LPN right now, take advantage of this. Do this. Get this experience under your belt, and you might even be able to graduate and maybe say, you know what, I'm going to get into a BSN program, so I'm going to do an LPN to BSN program. Or there's ways you can work on your BSN while you're working on your associate's degree, so by the time you get done, you you pretty much, you have your bachelor's, because you have to have your bachelor's to apply for graduate school, right? So I'm sure that even without a year of experience as an RN, that you could still get into a program if you apply, because as long as by the time that you start, because usually what they do is, what I've been doing for my research is they'll have you apply for a nursing anesthetist school, right? Like say they'll have you apply in, say right now it's June. So say the application was due by June 1st, right? Apply by June 1st. Then they start doing interviews like maybe a month after that, after they look at everybody's stuff. And then they decide on who they want. You do not start until the next June. Now, when you apply, it depends on the school, but when you apply, say when you apply, you only had like 6 months experience in the ICU as an RN. But you had like 4 years in ICU critical care nursing as an LPN. I really feel like you are still competitive going into that school with 6 months experience as an RN, 4, even 3 years as an LPN doing it while in nursing school. You could just show, like, if you could really highlight, like, I did this while I was in nursing school to get my RN, to get my BSN. I worked on this. You could just see, like, my grade point average was here. My GRE is here. Like, you can get everything where you need it to be. Yeah, I feel like it can make you competitive, because by the time that the program actually starts, which is the next year, so say when you apply, you only had 6 months experience in the ICU as an RN. By the time that you actually start a year later, you'll have a year and a half in the ICU as an RN, plus those 3, 4, 5 years that you had as an LPN, plus your higher GPA, things like that. So I think that this can really make you, I don't know though, because I have not applied for school as a CRNA or a DNAP. But from the research I've been gathering and just thinking about like how you need to make your resume look competitive and show that you have been working at this and you understand, like, I feel like if you can show like this is something I've been wanting for a long time, and you see I have all these years of experience in it, then shoot, with this much experience you could probably get jobs as an LPN that you couldn't even get as a new RN because of all the years of experience that you've had. And with all those years of experience you had working as an LPN in some of these jobs I'm going to show y'all, you can use that to get you in as a new RN somewhere that maybe other RNs wouldn't be able to get into. So maybe they wouldn't take a new grad RN in the CVICU. But with you having so many years of just that ICU experience, they'll take you in and just train you more in on that, what do you call it? On the CVICU unit, the cardiovascular ICU unit. They'll probably just train you, to fit that. But they'll be comfortable with hiring you on that unit as a new grad RN because they're like, look, this person had all these years as an LPN doing it. So let me show y'all the jobs in my area. Let me see, because I'm just looking at these and it's just like, whoa. So this is at an ICU step down. Now ICU step down is not like what they would consider to be enough for a critical care nurse experience on to get into a, what do you call it, to get into a CRNA program. But this is a good entry level as an LPN to get you into this. So it's $3,000 sign-on bonus. Hey, use that to pay off your car or something, use it to pay for classes. Still got your 312, so you can still get this job and still do, like agency somewhere to pick up a little bit more, because you might want to subsidize, especially if you're doing agency right now. It might be a pay cut going to the hospital to get that experience. I totally freaking get it, but man, that experience on your resume is invaluable. So you want to make sure that, if you're doing 312s here, they might have a little bonus for you to pick up. They might have a nice bonus for you to pick up that extra shift, or you might want to go ahead and keep that agency job that's paying you maybe $10 more an hour, I know. But to just say that you have a year of that experience on your resume, I think that looks good. I was also looking at this LPN IV certified position. So it's between $24 and $33 an hour, which honestly in the agency world here, that's pretty low. My point of reference is always going to be agency nurses, agency nursing, especially for my LPNs, because that's all I've been doing as an LPN for the past 3 years is agency nursing because of the money. But I feel like with the experience and with this being part-time, you can still pick up like 2 agency shifts a week, and you'll see a lower, amount in how much you're making every week. But I feel like you could still, you can justify doing this and having something like this to beef up your resume. Let me know in the comment section, like, do you feel like it's even worth it to do certain things to help bring up your resume and get you towards your goals? I feel like if like what I've been talking about, that you want to become a graduate level nurse, you want to go for your NP, even if you want to become a nurse supervisor, something like that, you need to try to work on getting those skills. You want to become a nurse educator. Even I feel like as a nurse entrepreneur, find yourself something. Use that LPN degree to your best ability, y'all. Use it, because they want us. You look at this. IV cert, all you gotta do is be IV certified. Come here, you can get all of your experience with the IV. Imagine having a year of this IV's like experience on top of this. Is part-time, so you could work this and then you can maybe find a part-time ICU job somewhere. Heck, even a full-time ICU job, and use this kind of like as your part-time PRN type of gig, and just finesse it. Especially if you don't have kids, if you're not in school right now, or if you just feel like you can work those hours, work it so that you can really show that you have the experience. This way, by the time you get into a program, maybe you still feel like you have to work during your CRNA your nurse anesthetist program. Try to use dang on letters, just drive me crazy. But say that you feel like you still want to work while you're in school, right? I don't know. You could probably get on as what do they call them? Like the on-call IV therapy nurses. That if it's like we did this so much in nursing homes. Like if you could not stick somebody because they're super dehydrated, they already got these little frail little veins. Where the IV nurse? Because I already got 3 people that fell on me. I ain't trying to do this IV. Somebody else come up in here. They call that nurse. That nurse comes in. Hopefully they can get the IV. You can start that drip. That patient cool. You good. That's one less thing you have to do. They chart on it, then they leave, and then they're kind of like on call. If a facility needs you, you're on call. Now, I'm not saying this is what this is, but you could get a gig like that, and you could work that while you're in school. Now, I'm not saying that you can, child. I ain't been in nobody's nurse anesthetist program, but I think that also being able to just do that as an RN before you get into the program and having that on your resume kind of just even shows that, hey, this is something that I do. Because you're going to be sticking patients. You're going to have to be that nurse that can stick any patient. Even as an ICU nurse, you want to have that under your belt to show that you can stick a lot of patients. So just that experience alone can help you with getting that ICU job you want to get once you become an RN, and also in making that resume look even more competitive when you go into school for becoming a nurse anesthesiologist. Also, if you want to have one of those more not remote jobs, one of those jobs where you're on call and you do IVs, some of those jobs, they want you to have like 3 years experience either in ICU, critical care nursing, or any type of drip, something like that. They want you to have some type of experience with sticking. So having this under your belt is part-time. It might not even be as many hours as you think, and you might be able to do this while you're in nursing school, and you'll probably see a lot, and it just seems like good experience to me. And they might have like a sign-on bonus. Let me see, do they have a sign-on bonus? Or like they might have help with school too. So sign-on bonus eligible. They might help you with school. They have different locations that you can go to. Maybe if you start here with their ICU, you can then go, with their IV certified position as an LPN. When you're in school, maybe you can get into a nurse residency program in the ICU at a higher level if you want to, get them to pay for your BSN, things like that. Like, yes, agency nursing, I'm gonna have to do a video about this, but yes, agency nursing is where the money resides, but we got to get this experience now. If you want to go further, I'm realizing it now that the money is there, but if you want to move on and do something else, you got to get the experience. And money has been at the top of my list for a long time, but now I'm focusing on this experience. So let's get into it. So this is a trauma neuro ICU step down. So this, of course, again, may not be the ICU experience that you need to become a DNAP or nurse anesthetist, but this is still some good experience to have to get you that ICU job you need once you become an RN, or to even give you an idea if this is the ish that you want to go to school for. Like, let's be honest. To see if this is even where you want to go. Do it for 6 months. See if you even want to go down the route. Learn right now while you're an LPN, right? Because I still haven't even worked in the ICU to know if this is my role, but I kind of have an idea of who I am and like what kind of nurse I am and what setting I like to be in. So I kind of feel like it could be my vibe. I really do, but we shall see, child. We shall see. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else. Float pool. I like this. Float pool, $10,000 sign-on bonus. I like this, and it's part-time, so you can still get those work those shifts that you want to work, or work like those bonus shifts, like if you want to pick up a shift here and there through agency, get some extra coinage, okay, and still have this part-time gig. Or you can be going to school, or you can be working on that nurse entrepreneur or whatever and getting that experience too. So as you can see, there's jobs out here for LPNs. There's plenty of jobs. They want us. They need us. They got a graduate LPN residency. Oh, that's good. I bet it's a good sign-on bonus too. So they have way more positions. Family medicine, especially if you want to go into NP, get yourself into this position. You're probably going to be around so many nurse practitioners, family medicine, and get a better idea of what you want to do and to get that resume looking good. Take advantage. Use your credentials as an LPN right now and just get in part-time somewhere, get in PRN somewhere. You can see a lot of these were part-time positions. Get part-time, get PRN somewhere, and get that experience that you need. But like I said, if you're going for that nurse anesthetist route, I feel like there's so many opportunities, even with the IV nurse. Even with that, with a little bit of ICU experience as an LPN, I feel like once you become an RN and you get your bachelor's and you're getting your ICU experience, you could probably apply at a hospital, at a school that has LPNs there, and you can work. BSN, bachelor prepared nurses, can teach LPNs. So say you have that IV experience, you have that ICU experience, and you want to go ahead and teach. Or you want to do clinicals, or you want to just go in and teach the IV certification at a school somewhere. Like, I'm sure there's schools that need people to do this. And you want to just teach that course. You can do that. That would look good on your resume to have that going into nurse anesthetist school. Just having these little things that like set you apart and show like you as a whole person. Like, and the beautiful thing about nursing is that they need us. They need us. There's so many more openings for nurses right now, whether you're LPN or RN. So many things. And if you're an LPN with some experience under your belt, you are going to be able to get in positions that new RNs cannot get into. The pay is going to be whatever it is. You're going to have to finesse it and work it and twerk it how you need to. Use your experience as an LPN to get more money, to get a sign-on bonus, to get them to help you with school for your RNs, to do something. Use your LPN for something. Get in there and finesse it. You are a nurse, so get in there and use your experience to get what you want out of these jobs. Whether it be, like I said, ask for more on your sign-on bonus. See what they're talking about when they come to school and really get that on paper, what they're going to help you with school. Get the schedule that you want, because like I said, they are more willing to hire experienced LPNs than they are RNs. If they can get an LPN in a position, they will. Trust me. If they can get an LPN in a position, they will, and just have one RN maybe just looking over everybody. But these, the hospitals have their status or whatever, what they have. But even just clinics, whatever you want to get into them now and take advantage of it, because they're paying more now. There's so much more weight in nursing. So many people are leaving nursing in droves, I'm sure. I don't know the numbers, but I know they're leaving. So use this time to take up these positions that maybe some RNs have, abandoned because they want to go make more money out here in the nursing streets. But in general, like there's worth in LPNs, especially when you have that experience. So get out there and do it. Let me know, what are you doing? Are you staying with agency? Are you deciding to become a nurse anesthetist as an LPN, and you're like, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna start it now? Let me know. I know this is really different on my channel. I haven't really talked about nurse anesthetist. It's been something in the back of my head for years, but I always was like, that's the smart people degree. Who has time to do all that work? But I'm realizing that your girl might have some time. I got some time for it today. I got time today. So bye, you all. Peace.